Hi, I'm Ryan. This is Marla, this is Eyvin, and unfortunately we don't have Sophia. I'm sorry about that. But today we want to emphasize green infrastructure and strategies to improve it on Lamberton Creek. So first we need to know what green infrastructure is. Well, we know it's water management. It protects and restores or mimics natural water cycle, natural environment and engineering. And to go in with that, it's basically human and natural selection on water in the water cycle. To simplify that, green infrastructure is an approach to water management that protects, restores, or mimics natural water cycles, leading to little or none thermal pollution. Now that we know the basics of green infrastructure and what types of green infrastructure exist, now we need to classify it. Green infrastructure are classified as bioswales, green roofs, blue roofs, green rain gardens, permanent pavement, subsurface detentions, and cisterns.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about curb planters, and what curb planters are. They're a system of basically plants that you have around the roadside, and it extends the road, and so it makes it the road a bit smaller, but it also makes it so there are less floods. And curb planters have relatively little to no cost, and they can basically replace a new stormwater management plant, and they cost the city a lot less than a stormwater management plant would. And curb planters improve water quality, they provide shade, they prevent floods, and they are aesthetically appealing, and they also add property value. And there are basically two types of curb planters, infiltration planters and non-infiltration planters. And what infiltration planters are they allow the water to soak into the ground, and it cleans the runoff from buildings and other things. And it also replenishes the source of groundwater. And non-infiltration planters are, what they basically do is they'll allow the water to go through, and it'll eliminate some of the runoff, and then it'll just allow it to go through the drainage systems into rivers and other things.
So both Ryan and Eyvin have listed a couple of green infrastructures that we can use. But even though there's like a bunch, the benefit of all of them is that they all include the benefit of reducing stormwater runoff and improving the health of surrounding waterways. Green roofs, for example, have the capacity to hold significant amounts of water to like a 70-90%. And this helps, instead of the water running off of impervious surfaces, which are surfaces that either get heated up or just aren't able to have water soak through in it. So instead of it reaching its way through the sewer that way, it is absorbed by the plants, and then it's returned through transpiration and evaporation, which would be a rather better way of it going than going into the sewers, which then would reduce for us to our water and even the ocean water life that goes with it. The same goes for curb planters, as the water from the impervious surfaces are flowed towards them and filtered by its layers. That way, the water that reaches the soil has a lower amount of chemicals and pollutants it collected previously. And all NC strategies are brought up because of thermal pollution and addressing its effect on ocean life and even ourselves. Reason for its filtering and cooling is because of its interaction with impervious surfaces in terms of curb planters and many other green infrastructures. Even more, these green infrastructures reduce energy use, improve air quality, reduce urban heat island, and just creates a better community livability. Expenses aren't a factor to worry about either. In comparison to green infrastructure, there are many costs that are reduced by green infrastructure. It has been revealed that green infrastructure has a reduced built capital cost, operation cost, and repair cost, which comes into play when considering green infrastructure. Statistically speaking, a 2007 EPA study found lower cost of 11 out of 12 green infrastructure projects when compared to the equivalent projects with gray infrastructure. This would be Sophia's part, and she would talk about the sustainability strategies. When picking green infrastructure, you should identify the green elements in your community and develop them. So like maybe with green roofs, you would pick native plants and make sure that's all worked out. Put emphasis on developing and building upon them. Obviously, if you're going to build a greener, if you want to keep it in check, I mean, that's the whole point. Plan to finance long-term projects and programs and educate the public on it. I mean, if you say that, I mean, we're teaching all of you guys, I mean, the more we give to the community and more to the developer, I mean, the more it'll go to other developers and maybe grow into bigger projects.